News Talk 820 WBAP now on FM at 93.3. Make it a preset, y'all. 800-288-WBAP is our number, 800-288-9227. By now, I assume you've seen several replays of the tape of Puff Daddy coming out. His then girlfriend, Cassie, I don't know if you should call her Cassie for her public name as a singer, but I don't listen to her music, or I haven't listened to Puff Daddy's music in decades, and I don't like calling him Ditty, which is a stupid. It sounds dumb. It is dumb, and I thought that 15 whatever years ago when he made that dumb name up. Anyways, this video is disgusting. She is at an elevator. She's got a bag in her purse. She's waiting. She's wearing a hoodie. And then the video shows down the hallway Puff Daddy in his towel, naked, with a towel around his waist, running. And then he goes up to her from behind, with her apparently not knowing he was there. He smacks her or punches her in the back of the head, at the same time grabbing her hoodie and her neck, her hair, and dragging her and throwing her on the ground like a rag doll. He then kicks her once on the ground and then comes around. I think he grabs her bags or something and throws them, and then he comes around and kicks her again. It's just horrifying and disgusting to think as if you were her. And then he comes back and he sits down. This is a picture of a woman who is just dehumanized, degraded. I felt moments where I watched this, and I felt moments that, like, imagining I was her. And imagining the actual, I've been hit. Haven't we all been hit at some point? Maybe at a party or something when you were young and stupid like me. And it's a shock to your head. You're disoriented. And then thrown to the ground and then kicked like a dog. And then he comes back to the scene, and he sits down on a chair there in front of the elevator, and then he picks up glass vases and throws them at her. Only then a stranger arrives at the elevator and gets off, and she gets in the elevator. Something of that nature is what the report says. And it was just in time. Yeah, he walked away again, but only to turn towards her again, but then just in time for her to exit the elevator when the stranger came to. I want you to imagine that's you. It's easy for us to say, yeah, I'd kick his butt, or I would, it's just different when you're in that situation. And this man is an animal. This man is a monster. I think the major celebrities have come out and denounced him now today, and one of them just said monster. I think it's Emily Ratajkowski or whatever her name is. I don't know how to say it. Yeah. She said she just retweeted and put monster, and I think that's accurate. And when I see this, I already believed the allegations of sex trafficking of minors. I believe all these women that have come forward, and I understand why many of them, when these things happen, like the allegations that first came out, about 6 months ago or 3 months ago or something against Puff Daddy, that said he sex trafficked. This came out in December 2023. He was hit with a fourth sexual assault. Well, first of all, a woman in November 2023 filed a lawsuit against him, claiming that he and singer-songwriter Aaron Hall took turns sexually assaulting her and a friend in the early 90s. And then a fourth came out in December of last year, 5 months ago or so, and a fourth one saying that lawsuit accusing him and others of sexually assaulting a 17-year-old girl at his New York City recording studio after drugging her and supplying her with alcohol. Cassie Ventura is the one that you see in this video. She was signed with Combs' label. You can see how he does this. He uses his power and fame and money to lure you in, and then gives you a record deal, and then owns you and beats you and pimps you out to people. And he also was accused by Cassie of being pimped out by him. Like, you go there and have sex with this stranger, a prostitute, in front of me for my enjoyment. I think he's a sick sadist and hedonist, and I think he is a sex trafficker. I believe the charges of sex trafficking against minors, and I think he's the new Epstein. And I was wondering about the statute of limitations. I'll tell you about that coming up next. But some questions for you at 800-288-WBAP, 800-288-9227. Do you want Sean Puff Daddy Combs to go to jail for beating his ex-girlfriend? Do you think he's guilty of much more regarding other allegations of underage sex trafficking, and more? And could he be the next Jeffrey Epstein? 800-288-WBAP is our number. Chime in right now. Line's wide open for you. 800-288-9227. Do you want Puff Daddy to go to jail for beating his ex-girlfriend? And do you think he's guilty of much more regarding the other allegations of underage sex trafficking, and more? And do you think he's the next Jeffrey Epstein, or he is Jeffrey Epstein, kind of the next one? I do. 800-288-WBAP is our number. 800-288-9227. He cannot be charged with this case. It's past the statute of limitations. There's a 3 and a 6 year statute of limitations on this. The 3 years, I think, is for, I don't know if it's battery or violence or something, and then the 6 year one is a serious one, but it's past that too. This is reportedly, it happened in 2016, and so here we are 8 years later, unfortunately. And then you wonder, how did this come out? Because it was at the Intercontinental Hotel in Los Angeles. And how did this come out 8 years later? He reportedly, this is what's amazing, she filed a lawsuit against him for all this abuse. It was all laid out in the case, in the lawsuit that she was filed. And I'll give you some of those details and what her allegations were in that lawsuit. But he immediately, listen, here's how you know. I was listening to a defense attorney, Mike Eiglar's, who I actually am a big fan of this guy, even if I don't like what he says sometimes. He was on the Martha McCallum show today on Fox, and he said that he totally believes he's guilty of all this stuff, because when you are guilty of that, you settle it. If you're not guilty, you might take weeks to settle something, or months. He said that's why he settled it in one day. It was so bad, he wanted it off the press and out of the media and out of the discussions. 24 hours, it was settled. Let's go to Angie in Decatur. You have called in at 8:20 a.m. and now 93.3 FM WBAP. Hi, Angie.
Hi.
Hi.
Thank you for taking my call.
You're welcome.
After some of the videos that have been circulated and some of the stuff that's been shown, I think he's done that and much worse.
Right, I agree.
I wish people like him would be put in prison forever, and let them know they can't, just because they're filthy rich and famous or whatever, that you can't just use people like your damn, towel rags or whatever.
It's worse. I don't treat my towel rag that way. I don't. You know what I mean? I'll throw it on the ground, grab it, and throw it on the ground and kick it.
Right.
I mean,
and sadly, I wish a man would just, he usually runs around with a gang of, not one of those
posse
dudes around him could step in and say, hey man, don't do that.
Because he is the idol. He is the one that is on his pedestal that must be idolized and probably practically worshipped. And when he's surrounded by people that hump his leg, not literally, well, some of them do, but literally, but figuratively, and who worship him, and who he gives them money and power and fame, a taste of it, or to have his, if you do what he says, which is do whatever I want to you sexually and whatever I want you to do sexually in front of me with others, and drug these young kids. There's a 17-year-old girl who filed suit that said he that one of the lawsuits described how he drove one of the alleged victims to a music studio where she could not get out of her car before taking her to a place that he was staying and sexually assaulting him. A third woman claims that he and Aaron Hall, as I mentioned, took turns sexually assaulting her and a friend in the early 90s. And this one from 2023, a 17-year-old girl, she accused him and others of assaulting a 17-year-old girl at his New York City recording studio after drugging her and supplying with alcohol. So it's like they treat them like they get off and laugh and have fun at destroying young girls' lives.
Right.
And using them as a tool or a toy.
Chris, I have a daughter. I don't know.
I have a daughter, too. She's 18. Mm-hmm.
But let me tell you, that's when I think the gloves would come off. Vigilante style, whatever.
But you couldn't get to him because he's got security. Because he's worth tens of millions of dollars, if not more. I don't know his exact net worth. And those people will do whatever he tells them to do. And that's why it takes... Sorry, go ahead.
No, I was going to say that's true, and they cover for him.
Yes, except when he spurns them or where they walk away. Remember his top right-hand man guy who's come out and said, all this is true, and those tapes that he has, we're going to show a lot of bad things. Can't remember his name. And then did you know what major national figure, a pastor, has been brought up in these lawsuits? Do you know which one it is here?
Can I say it?
Yes.
T.D. Jakes.
Yes.
And sadly, in the 90s, I used to love to listen to him sometimes. When I heard that, I was like, oh my,
But are you surprised
in the end time
when he's around all this celebrity and around all these movies and being, he's kind of like half Hollywood, it seems. I don't know what's going on there much, but it seems like half Hollywood. And so it's like,
Yeah, and do you remember when they called Mel Gibson crazy and cuckoo because he had already said that a long time ago, and now it turns out he's right.
Wait, he said what? I'm sorry. What did he say?
He said that he remembers because he went as a young man and he remembers stuff being like he thought that it was stuff he was imagining. He's like, no, surely this is not going on. Like I'm sure
at Puff Daddy's,
like trying to touch him and things like that.
Wait, Mel Gibson saw this at Puff Daddy's place? He hung out with him?
Oh, no. I meant like in Hollywood.
Oh, like the pedophilia, the abuse of young people? Yeah. I mean, that's...
And I'm like, it's got to be weird because I guess, I don't know, they get to a point where they just have so much freaking money and...
Yes.
And
Here's what I think. Here's what I think, Angie. It could be you, it could be me. I'm not saying that we would be the same way or anything, but let me just hear me out. This is a theory. It could be you, it could be me, it could be anybody. But what power and fame and money does, I'll just stick with money, which gives you a lot more power. I think that what it does is, for not everybody, because there's people I know that have done very, very well, multi-millionaire people that are friends of mine, and they're the right people to have it because they're doing so many great things with it, and they stay humble and loving and kind. You never know, and I love that about them. They inspire me. But I think a lot of people... we don't know how you and me and others would act if we are blessed with that kind of money. And so I think that it brings out there are issues we all have, and it can really heighten them and make them much worse and magnify them because we have the ability to get away with a lot.
Right.
And so I think and then you get pride, you get ego, and you get away with more and more and more. And so eventually you do something and you get caught. And if you had seen this, if this was you watching somebody else or seeing somebody else in the news, you'd be like, oh my gosh, what a jerk. How could they? Your old self before you got there would condemn it and be outraged and disgusted. But here you are because it kept growing and growing and growing because nobody stopped you and you didn't hold yourself accountable or let others hold you accountable or surround yourself by people who would truthfully hold you accountable and you would listen to them. Great call, Angie.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. All right, 800-288-WBAP is our number, 800-288-9227. I got a few more little things on the Puff Daddy timeline. My question is, of course, do you want Puff Daddy Combs to go to jail for beating his ex-girlfriend? Do you think he's guilty of much more regarding allegations of underage sex trafficking, and more? Do you think he could also be the next Jeffrey Epstein? Yes. I think the answer is yes to that in all of these, and I think he will be found out to be. And that's why I'm glad the feds raided his Miami and LA house and took everything. And I'm thinking they're going to present a case in 6 months to a year that's going to be devastating for him and take him down and show how much of an Epstein he really is. All right, coming up next, this is going to be something else. NBC Universal's Peacock is launching a new series about gay and transgender and queer animals for Pride Month. Gay and transgender and queer animals are everywhere, they say, in this new series. I thought this was a joke. It's not. I'll play you the audio, and we'll talk about that coming up next on The Chris Crock Show on News Talk 820 WBAP and now on FM at 93.3. As promised, I have two things. We're going to get back into the Peacock channel launching a series on gay and transgender animals. What? Queer, they call it gay penguins, and they show a video of supposedly a male lion humping a male lion. Oh my gosh. I want to know what you think of this. What do you do you support? Hold on. Here's what I want to do. Do you believe that there are gay and transgender animals everywhere, as NBC Universal's Peacock streaming service now claims in a brand new show that's launching for Pride Month in, 2 weeks? Get ready to be bombarded with stuff everywhere. I don't care what month it is. It's always so annoying. And you know how okay, I'll pause for a second because I wanted to get into that. But my questions are, do you believe there are gay and transgender animals? Do you think that shows and efforts like this are all over? Why do you think shows and movies and stuff like this is all over our media? Why? Why do you think it is? And do you agree with their message that many, many more people and many, many more animals out there are gay and transgender? 800-288-WBAP is, and queer, as they say. 800-288-9227. That's 800-288-WBAP. Quickly, as promised, too, at 9:30, Texas regulators approve rate hike requested by Encore. Dallas Morning News reports it's Encore's third increase in 8 months. $1 a month. But listen, guess what? It doesn't go on our bills. It goes to the energy companies. And guess what the energy companies do? You betcha, they just raise our rates. The rate increase adds up to about $3.40 a month. Though companies like Encore charge customers $4.23 monthly fee, instead they're being charged to retail electric providers, and those are presumed to be baked into the total rate consumers pay for their electricity. Encore estimates the rate cost for the average residential customer is $50 a month. Does that mean if my bill's $150 if it is for the rate cost? I don't know. I don't like the way that was written. They talk about historic growth. It's something needs to fund this historic growth. Can I ask you a question? Why are we paying for the historic growth for people that are moving here? Shouldn't there be I'm not kidding you. I'm not trying to be foolish and throw something out there, but shouldn't people that move here pay a higher rate? Shouldn't people that move here pay some kind of a $50 energy consumption, from out of state energy consumption thing? Like on their first bill, they pay an extra $50. Is that fair? Where we say, if you're a new resident of Texas, if you haven't lived here for 10 years or any time in the past 10 years, it could be something, you know what I mean? If you just moved here in the past 10 years, in fact, starting today and going forward for 10 years, if you haven't lived here, move back from, if you lived here 10 years ago or less, you're fine. They're not going to, jobs take you here and there because you're already a former Texan. So, but if you move here for the first time, then you're going to be paying a $50 fee. You can pay it on the first electric bill, or you can pay it divvied out over 12 months, which is what, like $10? No, it's actually like what, $5? No, it's like $4 a month. Make them pay for it. They're the ones that are making this expansion necessary, not me, not you. The pace of the rate hikes has doubled, and that's it. I think they should pay. Are you down with that? Making new people that move into the state pay, let's just make up a number, a $50 tax because you're expanding the lines. You're making us expand and reinvest and spend more, not reinvest, but spend more money to expand our electricity provider capability. You can pay $50 on your first bill, or you can pay, roughly $4 a month extra. That's not much. Of course, they're going to say, well, yeah, but Chris, we only have 100,000 people that move in here, so $50 isn't going to do it. I don't know, man. Figure it out, but this is stupid. I'd like them to pay, not me. Do you think we should play this little quick promo again from this thing saying how gay animals are everywhere? Or did we already do it enough, in your opinion, once? Was that enough? Or do you want to hear it again because you love it, Producer Garrett? You'll pass. I'll read you the script, some highlights from the script. Basically, a new show that launches in a couple weeks. The whole premise of it is there's gay, transgender, and queer animals everywhere. And they're going to feature it. What do animals have to do with people? Animals can't reason. Animals don't have souls. I don't believe there's gay animals or transgender animals. And I think transgender animals, sorry, that's not even possible. I want to dress up like a woman. You're a freaking animal. You're not cognizant of this stuff. You're made a certain way by God, and that way means, I don't know why, but they don't even think. They do. They are made to think and do, not think, but they're made to do, and they don't know why, because they don't have reasoning skills. They don't have reasoning at all. They don't have awareness. It's like they're on autopilot because that's the way God made them, and all they know, they don't even know it, but they just want to hump something. And somehow they figure it out, and they know it. They don't know it from experience. They don't know it from evolution. They just do what they do. They've been doing it forever. That's why they're still here. We don't make them do it. They just do it. Anyway, I want to remind you that some animal species eat their... those are comments that are great. They say that some animal species eat their family members just for fun. Because they're literally saying... Here, they say gay penguins, bisexual lions, and sex-changing clownfish. This is a queer planet. Queerness always existed. It's only in humans that we have such a stigma about it. See, something's wrong with you if you're not gay or bisexual or trans. The idea of having two fixed sexes is clearly out of style. You're you're a knuckle dragger. You're a caveman. What's wrong with you thinking that being gay is not normal? It is. You're the one who's weird and problematic. That's basically their message in this promo. Sex is not just for reproduction. Nature is full of queer surprises. They say, what the heck what is this? And Garrett can't even give me the time cues without laughing. And what could be more natural than being who you are, they say. I'm excited to be a part of a queer planet. What is this? Donald Trump Jr. remarked, "It never effing ends," full word. And he's right. My wife and I take bets on which character is going to be gay and how soon they're, you know what I mean? Like, I'm like, oh, they're introducing the gay character in the first episode. It's insert gay person here, even if they're not gay. For example, do you remember 6 Feet Under, that incredible series? I think it's 5 years long or 6 seasons long from HBO. 6 Feet Under, they own a funeral home. I watched that I can't remember when it was, 10, 15 years ago or so when it came out, maybe 20 years ago. My wife and I loved it. And it was reintroduced on a streaming, and we watched it again. It was still just incredible. And two of the guys in there are gay, but they're not actually gay in real life. Both of them are not gay. That show never bothered me because it didn't insert the agenda. They just happened to have a gay character. But now they artificially inflate the amount of gay people, and they make it all about the series around it. It's like, what do you just stop? I don't care if people are gay in this series, but don't shove it down our throats. And that's what they do now. And well, I think they're doing this because they're trying to push us to think that being gay is completely, like 90% of everybody's gay, or whatever. I don't know, 30 or 40 or 50% of people are gay. Do you know about 4 years ago or 5 years ago, there was, we talked about this, there was a Gallup poll that came out, and it said that, first of all, the amount of people that say they are gay, transgender, lesbian, everything is 2 to 4% of the total population. 2 to 4%. That actually makes sense, right? From what you and I have seen anecdotally in their lives and everything. 2 to 4% of everybody is gay, lesbian, transgender, bisexual, whatever. But they also, in that same Gallup survey, they surveyed people to say, what percentage of Americans do you think are gay? And it was, the poll showed that most people thought that 24% of Americans were gay. So the actual amount of Americans that are LGBTQ is 2 to 4%, but the people in this Gallup poll that were polled thought that a quarter of everybody is gay or transgender. You know what I mean? So literally, instead of being 2 to 4%, they think it's 20% higher than that. Why? Because the media is brainwashing them into thinking there's something wrong with you if you're straight. This is laughable. And I'm going to share the comments real fast. Actually, when we come back, I'll share the comments. They're very, very funny from what a lot of people said. If you want to share a comment, too, this is great. 800-288-WBAP is our number, 800-288-9227. And so many people are, not angered by this, but are laughing at this and making fun of it. And a lot of people are going to cancel the streaming service. I'll read some of their comments next. And I think we should Target or Bud Light them if you have it, but it's your choice, not mine. 800-288-WBAP is our number, 800-288-9227. Speaking on that note, do you know that Dylan Mulvaney, remember the transgender guy that was the Bud Light, right? He went to Peru not too long ago to escape all this stuff when the controversy was going on because he felt safe there. Wait till you hear what Peru just did with their legislation on people that are transgender. It's quite comical in light of everything. That's next on the Chris Crock Show on News Talk 820 WBAP, now on FM at 93.3. Our number is 800-288-WBAP. News Talk 820 WBAP, now on FM at 93.3. Brand new series debuting on Pride Month on the Peacock NBC streaming service, saying that there's queer and gay and transgender animals everywhere. Lions, penguins, etc. I'm going to read you some of the funniest comments on social media making fun of this, because that's what it is. It's a joke. It's hysterical, but not to be taken seriously at all, but it's quite the laugh. Do you believe there are gay and transgender animals everywhere, as they allege in this new series? Why do you think shows and efforts like this are all over our media? And do you agree with their message that many, many more people and animals out there are gay and transgender? We just don't realize it. 800-288-WBAP is our number, 800-288-9227. Kevin in North Richland Hills, you're on 820 AM and now 93.3 FM WBAP. Hey, Kevin.
Hey, how are you?
Good, sir.
I'm not a paleontologist, okay, by any means, but in the wild, the lions, the monkeys, orangutans, and when they have a successor coming up that is not what they're supposed to be, they humiliate them with having what you talked about, the intercourse, and they're ousted from the tribe, and that's where it goes. You know, they're humiliating the other guy. Mm-hmm. So anyway, like I said, I'm not a paleontologist. I just watch a lot of stuff.
You're saying that when a new dominant male comes in, they humiliate and excoriate, or humiliate and kind of run out of town the formerly dominant male?
That, and if they don't leave, they beat the bejeebers out of them, and humiliate them again. And
so it's a male coming in to become the new dominant male, and they will go after the male who used to be the leader and get him out of there.
That's right.
Now, does that tell you something about this whole thing where they're saying there's a lot of gay and transgender? How are you a transgender lion? I don't understand. Do you wear a fake wig or something? Do you wear a dress?
You're making me laugh. I don't know.
You wear some pumps, some stilettos?
Yeah. You'll have to go back to the comics, and not comics, but
no, I think comics is accurate.
Jungle Book and everything like that.
Mowgli, great. I love that story.
There you go. Keep up the good work, buddy.
Thank you. Take care. Keep your eyes out for some gay pigeons or gay eagles or gay red-tailed hawks, which are all over North Texas. And make sure you watch your dog and cat. They may be gay. All right, or transgender. I could put my dog in a male costume, this Halloween. These people put these poor dogs into these costumes, and they humiliate the dog. I mean, they can't tell, but it's humiliating to look at, right? That poor thing, right? Okay, some of the comments on this, which are so awesome and funny to laugh at. People commenting on this new series saying that there's gay lions and tigers and animals everywhere all over the planet. We live in a queer planet. This is actual insanity, says one. This garbage needs to stop, says another. Another says, I just want to remind you that some animal species eat their family members just for fun. Because the people in this show are saying that we should be like the animals, we're all gay and all this kind of stuff. So it's like, should we eat our relatives then? Our family members, like the animals, if we're all the same thing, as they say. Just like that, millions of Peacock accounts were canceled, says another. Another says, what a load of garbage. I thought this was from The Onion. Another one says, when you try to find fringe examples to justify your horrible narrative. Another one, deleting my Peacock account right now. Another one, and deleting my Peacock account. Another one, canceling Peacock right now. Another one, deleted all Peacock subs, whatever that means. What does that mean, Producer Garrett? Deleting all Peacock subs. Subscriptions. Okay, that's what I thought. There's only one, dude. There's only one subscription you can get for them. So I guess they have multiple ones. I don't know what that's about. Just deleted my Peacock account, says another. Deleting my Peacock account immediately, says another. When does this come out? So excited to cancel my subscription. So it's time to Target and Bud Light them. And by the way, Peru just passed a law saying that transgenderism is mental illness, but so you're treated like a mental illness patient if you're transgender, and that's where Dylan Mulvaney, the trans guy that was a Bud Light, that Bud Lighted Bud Light, that's where he went to feel safe and comfortable, and he went by himself, and he was raving at a social media post about how comfortable and awesome Peru is, and how he loves taking vacations alone, which is fine, but dude, you might not want to go to Peru again. Just a little side note for you, okay, brother? All right, be safe out there, and good luck with your endorsements. It's kryptonite. Coming up next on the Chris Crock Show, man, we're having fun. How long, I like this one a lot, how long do drivers ignore the check engine light? The answers may shock you. I'll tell you about that coming up next, the check engine light. You know what I mean? How long does the average person ignore it? Oh, boy. That's coming up next on the Chris Crock Show. News Talk 820 WBAP, now on FM at 93.3.